Hey you guys, so today I am here, or tonight, because it is totally nighttime if you can't tell, I am going to be doing my personal Q&A. This is my first time to do a personal Q&A on my channel. I've done 3 Q&As on my channel total. Okay. So I decided since it is personal Q&A, I just kind of wanted to be cozy and just relaxed so that it was kind of like chatting with friends. Like we were literally sitting in my living room, hanging out and just chit-chatting and getting to know each other in a way. I do a lot of personal vlogs and y'all get to know me that way, but I've never like sat down and addressed comments or questions that were, well wondered about, I guess. Plus it helps to get really cozy when I'm going to talk for a little while because I am 8.5 months pregnant and I am feeling every bit of it, okay? I asked on Instagram. I had a lot of questions and I'm going to try to address all of them. As many as possible. A lot of them were repeats. So the first question comes from KS10182. She said, what's the hardest part about being married? XOXO, you are amazing. Thank you so much. The hardest part of being married? Well, that's really hard to say. I guess it just depends on your status of your relationship prior to being married. Before Andy and I were married, we had a bank account together. We shared finances. We shared bills. We were basically married without me having his name, without the legal title, without the benefits, all of that. So, I mean, in a sense, it felt, it's kind of the same as a serious relationship. I feel like the most common thing to say would be when you're married, you have to really work for it. You can't just say, I'm done, pack up your stuff and leave necessarily. Like if you're going to break up or you're going to end things, you're going to have to go through a process of divorce. And that in a sense makes marriage more of a commitment. So if you have commitment issues, I think, being married, that would be hard. But the hardest part of being married, I guess, would be that we are doing a lot of it from a long distance perspective. Marissa is her name. Walker. M-A-R-R-R Walker. What are some tips when dealing with being so far from your boyfriend/husband? My boyfriend's in the Army. Love your videos. Tips of dealing would just be to stay really busy. If you've noticed in my vlogs, if you've been watching them, my weekly vlogs, I stay super busy and I'm always looking ahead. So whenever I'm like, okay, so, like last week I was like, sorry, the Xbox is on. I've been watching Army Wives actually. Looking ahead, like last week I was like so excited about my baby shower, and now I've just been getting ready for Griffin to get here, things I want to get done before Andy gets home, that kind of stuff. I stay busy with that kind of thing, just staying really busy. And people say that all the time, but when they actually leave, it's almost like, okay, so when Andy left, I feel like I went through a 2 to 3 day of just like in a hole where I didn't necessarily cry, but I just kind of stayed in bed, or I stayed at home. I didn't want to leave. I just kind of always, I'd get up and I'd get something to eat and go lay back in bed, and I just binge watched Netflix. I just kind of went into a hole, and then after that you go into survival mode. Like, okay, what am I going to do to get through this next 9 months? And you just have to start staying busy and stop looking at the clock and stop looking at the calendar and just go. You get into a system of things. You get into routines, things like that. That's the best way I can say to dealing with it. It helps a lot. And then to just, always understand yourself. Like if you notice that you're feeling really sad, be sad. If you need to watch a movie to make yourself cry, or you just need to take a bath and just bawl the whole time you're in the bath, do it. Because you'll feel so much better afterwards. And sometimes it took me a while to figure that out, because at the beginning I was like, okay, I have to be strong, but it's okay to fall apart. I mean, you might not necessarily want to like broadcast it and let everybody know you're falling apart and let your boyfriend or husband. I don't tell Andy every time I'm upset. I don't tell him when stuff's bothering me or things like that, because they want, it's better for them to know you're doing okay, because it helps them. But it's okay for you to fall apart. Kale Shom XOXO. What's one piece of advice you'd give to a high school senior? And have you ever had a very strong feeling about something happening and it ended up coming true? Love you and your family and your videos so much. You're definitely one of the best role models ever. Thank you. I hope it's not too dark in here for you guys. I know it sounds really cliche, but just enjoy your senior year while you're in it. I really embraced my senior year. I I lived it up, I guess you could say. I spent every minute I could with my friends. We literally had sleepovers all the time during the week just because. Embraced it because it goes by fast, and people say that, but it does. And then high school's over, and there is nothing in the world like high school ever again. Just, you know, the Friday night lights, which I don't know if that's big wherever a lot of y'all live, but in the South, Friday night football games, high school football games are fun and a big deal. There's just nothing like it. You're never going to go to school from 8 to 3 anymore, you know, like it's just different. So really, really embrace it, and don't just wish it all away like I can't wait to go to college, because it's really easy to get into that mindset, and then it's there, and and you're fine when it's there, but then you turn 21 years old and you're like, wow, I've really missed high school, or that went by so fast, because I feel like I was just in high school and now I'm married and have 2 kids and I wouldn't change it for a thing, but it goes by fast. My gut has always led me the right way. Like, I don't think my gut has ever told me something that wasn't true, if that is kind of what you're saying. Like, if I have a gut feeling of something bad, it's usually bad. It's almost always right. So I trust my gut. A lot of people ask this question, but I'm just literally going down the row. So a lot of people ask this, but Mariah, 1993, said, did you go to college, or are you in college? If so, what for? I went to college right out of high school. I went for about a year and a half, I think. I took a break because I was going to school for nursing. I decided that wasn't what I wanted to ultimately do. Didn't know what I wanted to do. I was paying for college, so I just took a break. I took about, I guess, a 2-year break maybe, and I started going back, and I'm not in school, and I was basically just trying to finish my basics, and I've got all my basics now. I am not in school right now because I had trouble starting this semester because of like other financial aid reasons and things like that. And because I got married, it made things kind of complicated, and so I was going to have to pay a lot out of pocket to start, and having a baby and having Skylie and having Andy gone, I just was like, that might be too much, so I'm probably going to start back next semester. I want to get like a business administration degree probably. Julia Murphy said, what has been the most difficult and greatest thing about pregnancy? You seem to have had such a great pregnancy so far. The greatest thing about pregnancy, I love feeling him move around in there. It's so cool. I never feel like I'm alone. I think it's cool that it's like he's always with me. Yeah, I just love that. That's been really nice. The difficult thing has been just being really tired. I like to have energy. I just like having drive to do stuff I hate. I had an issue when I was younger about when I would get kind of depressed when I would feel like I didn't have any energy to do anything, like, or any drive. So I would just like stay in bed all day. Like, I'm just not that person. I'm not lazy. I don't like to be lazy. I can be lazy, but I don't like to be lazy like all the time. I like to choose to be lazy, not because I physically feel like I can, and that's just probably been the most difficult part. Alice JX said, how do you get along with Skylie's mom, and how was Skylie with you when you first met her? I don't really know what she's asking. I'm just going to kind of guess. So I'm guessing maybe she's asking how old Skylie was when I first met her, maybe. Skylie was 10 months when I first met her, and I'll never forget it. I was at Andy's place at the time, and he sat her down on the floor, and and I was like across the room, and she crawled over to me and was just like reaching up for me to hold her, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is so crazy. And then I do get along with Skylie's mom. Sorry, I forgot the question. Yeah, we do get along really well. I'm in this like really comfy sweater thing that like I have no clue where it came from. I don't think I bought it. I think somebody gave it to me like a long time ago, and it is so comfy. Leading Lady Katie said, what is your ultimate life goal as far as a career? How do you balance your busy life schedule without getting overwhelmed and anxious? I know you have moments, but overall, you're handling everything way better than the average person could. I'm positive. Love ya. Well, thank you. My ultimate life goal as far as a career, I don't know. I love the YouTube stuff, and if like I could do that as a career, that would be really cool because it would work around my schedule. As of course I think I'm gonna be a really involved mom. That would be like I would love to be an extremely involved mom, as far as, you know, not like the mom at the PTO meetings that's like really annoying and that kind of stuff, but just like, you know, everything. I want to be there for everything my kids get to do, because my mom worked a whole lot, and I don't at all hold this against her. I really look up to her for it, but she worked so much when we were growing up. I wouldn't say she missed a lot, but she couldn't come to a lot of things. Like if we had school Christmas parties or school parties, like Halloween parties or things like that, like she couldn't come to those. But I would love to, I don't know, I just either want a really flexible job, something that I can kind of control my schedule, or I don't know, just, I don't know yet. How do I balance my busy life schedule without getting overwhelmed and anxious? I get really overwhelmed, I get really anxious, but staying busy actually is a distraction from me being overwhelmed and anxious, if that makes any sense. I basically just look at each day. I gotta get through this day, or I gotta get through today and tomorrow. I don't look at like the big picture. I kind of just take it in, you know, bites instead of like taking off more than I can chew. So Shelby Driggs said, do you plan on having any more kids after you have Griffin? Love your vlogs. I don't know. Let me see how I can do with this whole labor and delivery and everything, but I definitely want to have another kid or two. I mean, whatever, wherever our life takes us, and I feel like we can provide for our children. Like, I wouldn't want to be selfish and have 2 kids, you know, have 2 or 3 more kids. That'd be way more. I don't think I'd want everyone to have 3 more kids. Maybe 2 more kids. But I definitely want to be able to provide for each one of my children equally and be able to give them the life they can have. So I don't want to be selfish and just have another kid because I want to have another one. I'll be able to give them the life they can have. So I definitely want to have another one, you know. We'll see though. Allie Grams, how did you get into doing freelance makeup? I recently graduated aesthetic school and I don't know how to get my foot in the door. Thanks, girl. Love you. I didn't even go to aesthetic school, honestly. I just, when I started doing freelancing, I started with YouTube. I started doing that kind of stuff. Then my friends started wanting me to do their makeup for their weddings or their dances and stuff. I started doing makeup on other people. And then I got in contact with my boss, Aaron, who I do makeup with as well as I do freelancing. So he opened a lot of doors for me. And basically just people, you know, you start with one person, start with your friends, you know, advertise your work, you know, market yourself, basically. Kinsey Butler said, did you have any worries before you married Andy? What did your parents think about you marrying a person in the military and him having a child? And what are you most excited for about having Griffin? I love you and your family. Aw. Did I have any worries before I married Andy? No. I was worried that Andy wouldn't make it to the wedding. No, I'm just kidding. I actually was really nervous that he wasn't going to make it down the aisle, like that he wasn't going to be there when, like I kept asking, I don't know if I said this in my Q&A with him, but the day of the wedding, I kept asking everybody, like, Andy's still here? Like, is he still here? Because I was so nervous. Blue! And then what did my parents think about marrying a person in the military and him having a child? At the beginning, him having a child, it wasn't really a concern. It was kind of like, I mean, they asked normal questions like, well, what about the relationship with the mom? Things like that. My parents are divorced, so I was raised in a co-parenting environment. So they weren't like, it wasn't unfamiliar. It wasn't, they aren't traditional, I guess you could say. And what are you most excited for about having Griffin? I can't wait to see what he looks like. That's what I'm so excited about. Trina Marie said, first of all, I'd like to say I love you. I love you. What made you decide to do YouTube videos and how did you get to the makeup industry? I was watching videos like crazy. I don't know how I started watching them, but I think it was something on Twitter, and it was like I don't know how it came across on Twitter, but I did, and I was like, this is so cool. So I got obsessed with watching them and seeing new products and seeing people use them, and I just started making lists of all the products that I wanted to go buy. And there were like when I first heard about NYX, I was like, what is that? I was floored. I'd never even heard of these brands. I had no clue. And so I was seriously obsessed, and then I started making like videos on my webcam, and I never posted them, but I would just do them just to see if I could do it. And I was like, I could never talk to myself in front of a camera. Like, I could never look at a camera and pretend there's people behind it and I'm talking to them. Like, every time I would try, I would crack up laughing, like, I can't do this. But I was like, one day I was like, I really want to do this. I really, really, really do. I think I'd be good at it. I think I have a good opinion. I think I have knowledge on it. I don't know. So I started doing that, and here I am. B-Boom7 said, we both have a Weimaraner and my husband's name is Griffin. We just got married. How do you like living close to family? Aw, how cool. Well, congratulations on your marriage. How do I like living close to family? I love it. I don't know if I could ever not live by family. Even though we've talked about living elsewhere, you know, but I'm very close to my mom and my sister, and family is important to me. So I don't know how well I do with living away from family. This was a really popular question. A lot of people asked this, and I think a lot of people asked this after this girl asked it, because I think they were like, oh, okay, I'll ask that too. But Holly Michelle XO said, not sure if it's too personal. If it is, just bypass this. I watched you from the beginning, and you took a break and came back and said you were going through some things. It was after you had an apartment. I think you went to Dallas for a while, but not entirely positive. I kind of forget. Was just wondering if you were willing to share what happened then or what you were going through. Like I said, if it's too personal to skip this. I look forward to your vlogs each week. Thank you. I'll try to address this without being like too detailed, because I could really go on forever about it probably, or like I could, you know, just ramble or something. So I went to Dallas. Well, okay. I spontaneously moved to Dallas. I've always wanted to live in Dallas. I still love Dallas to this day. I would still love to live there, maybe in a different lifetime, you know, like, or a different time of my life. But I love Dallas. I love Texas. I went down there really spontaneously, like literally. I decided one day, you know what? I'm going to go to Dallas. I'm going to move to Dallas. Why not? I have nothing here holding me back. I had nothing. I mean, there was nothing here. I'd paid my car off. I was living at my parents'. I wasn't dating anybody. I wasn't talking to anybody. Nor did I think there was anybody with a lot of day to talk to. Meanwhile, by the way, just to put in perspective where Andy was at this time of my life, Andy was deployed. So that kind of puts a timeline. Andy was deployed at this time. And I hadn't met Andy yet, but we talked, you know, like whatever, random text every now and then. But one day, I was like, you know, I'm going to go. So I left I started calling places that whole week for jobs. I got 2 interviews. The next week, I went down to Dallas for the day. I did my job interviews, and I got both the jobs. I was going to work both of them, like, part-time or whatever. One was a tanning salon, and one was a spa. Hey, come here. Bobo, come here, so mama. So they wanted me to start the next week. So I came back home, and I started my job the next week. So I literally had decided, got jobs, and moved within 2 weeks, which was really quick. And but a lot of people, like my family and stuff, didn't see it as a like a red flag or anything, because I had talked about living in Dallas for years, and I finally was able to do it. What is this? What is this? Okay. Don't be a distraction, but just let me hold you. Okay. I went to Dallas. My dad lives in Dallas, in case y'all didn't know. I don't want to go into and when I say I don't want to go into too much TMI, because I don't want to talk too much about my dad, because that's his private information. Just ignore this whole part. Basically, when I moved down there, and right before I moved down there, me and my dad had a plan that, you know, he lived kind of far from where I was going to be working. My dad lives in Arlington. I was going to be working in Dallas, like actually, you know, downtown. And he was working in, I think, Grapevine. And so we had decided, or he was actually living in Fort Worth, like between Arlington and Fort Worth. So like it was really far. Like it took me like an hour to get to work every day. So we decided that we were going to live closer. Like when I got down there, we were going to move closer. We got into a lot of arguments about money, a lot of arguments. I basically stopped staying at my dad's house. I had a friend down there that actually had moved there from Little Rock, Arkansas as well. A mutual friend hooked us up, basically. And so she let me stay at her place a lot because she was a nanny and she was never home. She had a little studio apartment in downtown, or not in downtown, but like actually in Dallas. Really like 15-minute drive from my job. She let me stay there all the time. She gave me a key to her apartment. She would come back home for weekends a lot, and she would let me stay there because me and my dad got in that huge fight, and it just made it really hard on me. I was living out of a bag. I never really settled. Like I never got my own place. I never got to really unpack and feel like I was home. And if you have noticed by getting to know me at all in my vlogs, I'm big on feeling cozy and at home. Like when we moved into this place, I had this stuff unpacked pretty quickly, because if I don't feel settled, I won't feel connected to the place and I won't feel like I'm home. And being relaxed, like when I get home and I can feel like I can relax on the couch, that's really important for me. So I never had that when I was there. I was working 2 jobs all the time, which is fine. But at the end of the day, after you work a long day, you want to feel like you can come home and just relax. And I never had that. That was really hard. Luckily, so thankful I had that friend down there who was like a saving grace to me. I don't know what I would have done if I didn't have her. I would have been so miserable. There was a lot of other factors too that were really hard, but basically it just came down to it. While I was living in Dallas, XOLX Ray, who is one of my best friends, her mom passed away, and I came home for the funeral. And when I came home, I saw some of my friends and my family I hadn't seen in a while, and they were like, "You don't look like yourself. You look really tired. You look really, my skin didn't look good. Like I just didn't look, like not like I was breaking out. Like I just had dry skin. I just looked so tired and so, emotionally like a zombie." When I went back to Dallas after the funeral, the funeral was like right before Halloween. When I went back to Dallas, a lot of my, they were just like, "Please come home." And I was like, actually it's really crazy, but on my way home on my way back to Dallas from Arkansas, Andy was texting me. And it's just crazy looking back on these situations and seeing where I'm at now, But Andy was texting me, and we were just talking about hanging out when he got back from deployment, because he was coming back from deployment. He was supposed to come back like late November or maybe even early, I don't know. He was supposed to come back in November, and my birthday was in December, and we were talking about hanging out. He ended up coming back at the beginning of December, but we were talking about hanging out and finally hanging out for the first time and meeting and whatever. He's like, "I'll come to Dallas," and I was like, "Cool, this will be so sweet. We get to hang out. We have never hung out." I'll admit it now, like I really will. In the back of my head the whole time, and I was like, maybe I should go home. I mean, maybe this Andy kid, like we can meet and hang out, and maybe we'll really like each other, like that honestly was a thought. Like I was trying to think of the positives of going back home, and one of the positives was I can meet Andy, and what if he's a really total catch? Because in my head I was like, all the guys suck there. All the guys in Dallas suck. I was like, what am I staying here for? I'm so miserable. I should just go home and get myself together. And maybe I can come back to Dallas some other time. He was one of the positives of going back home, was I could meet that, and that could turn into something more. And look at it now. Almost 2 years later. Right? Yeah, almost 2 years later. And I'm having his baby. He's my husband. We have a wonderful life together. So I don't know, that was kind of my gut instinct to just go back home, and I did, and I got myself back together. And I mean, the moment I came back, I never once looked back. I never felt like I made a mistake. I think it was something I needed to do, and I did it, and it was really hard, but I'm glad it's over. I know I told you it was going to be a long answer. Lauren King 7 said, Starbucks or Dunkin' Donuts, and favorite drink at the one you choose. Okay, that's kind of hard. I mean, I prefer Starbucks drinks, because Dunkin', I only really get an iced caramel coffee. And at Starbucks, I could get a million things. But Dunkin' Donuts is better for the price. So I'll just do either. It just kind of depends. Oh, and then Holly Michelle XO said, oh, one more. Do you have breast implants? Again, a 2 personal skip. Damn girl, they're working for you if you do. Thanks. Yes, I think I've talked about this on my channel a few times. But yes, I do have implants. I got them done not this past June, but the year before that. So June of 2014, I got them done. Lena Tomp said, not sure if it's been mentioned before, what happened to Stormy. Stormy was given to a friend, and then he got hit by a car. It was the year I came back from Dallas, that December. It was right before Christmas. He got hit by a car, and they tried to save him. They had surgery on him. He was refusing his medicine, and so he wouldn't take his medicine. Like he just wouldn't do it, and he was in so much pain, and he just passed away. No hey, culpa. 21. I know that you said a while back in the vlog that you still really liked 19 Kids and Counting, the show, regardless of what was going on in the media. Now that everything has been revealed, like the Ashley Madison, etc., what do you think? I wish they still had their show on. I think that the son has major issues, and I think that the whole family thinks that he has major issues because a lot of the older sisters have said, like had made like innuendos towards him, kind of like, you need help, dude. I think that it just shows that, I understand where people are like, they're hypocrites, but sometimes you want to leave your past to the past. I know every single one of us could say that there's something in our past that we'd rather just kind of like keep in the closet and just not even bring up ever again. But sometimes that comes out. And that's just an example of that, Amanda Drago. Do you still talk to Casey? I've been around since the beginning from y'all's swap, and now that she's YouTube famous, wasn't sure if y'all would still talk. Yeah, I haven't really talked to her like a full-blown conversation. We, when I went to BeautyCon Dallas, I did meet her for the first time at an event we were both at. She'll comment on my pictures, and I'll comment on hers and stuff. Like, we still keep up with each other that way, but we haven't had like a full-out conversation in a long time. Court 148 Kern said, do you plan on being a stay-at-home mom or back to work after maternity leave? Why are you so fabulous? But I'm probably going to go back to work, but not until Andy gets back, most likely. Reverse the Fallout said, what product are you loving currently or through pregnancy? You're beautiful. Thank you. I'm probably loving like moisturizer. Anything moisturizing, like serums for my face, bubble bath, lotions, just anything like that. Lip moisturizers, eye creams. I'm just loving staying really hydrated right now. Miss Kitty to you said, what happened to your cat and how do you get along with your hubby's mom and his family? Do they know you do YouTube? Gosh, I'm nosy. I don't know if you're talking about Thunder or Stormy. Excuse me. How do I get along with my hubby's mom? We get along, we text all the time. And I don't know if, I think they know I do YouTube, but they don't really understand it because his mom's not really like tech savvy or anything like that, or like in the internet or anything like that. Ashley and Coda said, do you plan on starting up daily vlogs? Also, after Griffin is born, are you going to start working out again? I would really love to see a workout routine meal plan. What's your favorite candle scents decor for fall? For fall, I just love like leafy and pumpkin stuff everywhere and just bronze, orange, gold colors. I love pumpkin and spice and musky scented candles. I'm definitely going to start working out again. If you ask anybody, that's all I've been talking about. Like, I can't wait to get to the gym because it's such a release for me. It feels so good. I love working out. I just love it. And so I can't wait to get back into the gym and have all that energy back. I'll think about doing videos. I don't know yet though. Andy always laughs when y'all ask me for that kind of stuff. But he's taught me a lot in the gym. He's a real big workout guy, and so I don't know, maybe we can do a video together or something. But definitely we'll be working out, eating good, things like that. Daily vlogs, I don't know. As close as I get to daily vlogs is Vlogmas, but we'll see. Amanda Drago, I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. She said, what's your weirdest craving? I don't know why, but I always ask that. Some have been, some have them, and others don't. I like sour and tarty too, like vinegary, but I haven't really had any like weird combos. I've been craving Lucky Charms a lot. That's a lot of carbs. Tammy 1015 said, who do you plan on having a delivery room with you when you go into labor, and also are you going to film some of it? Well, I plan on Alexa Ray coming up here, and hopefully I don't know if I'm going to be being induced or not yet. It kind of just depends on what my body does, but ideally Alexa will be up here and she will film it for me. But I will be having it filmed, hopefully, like maybe not my actual delivery, but I want everything around to be filmed for you guys. And because I filmed so much of my life, my wedding and my gender reveal and my baby shower and our, announcing that we were pregnant, all that stuff. So I really want to have this too. I plan on having, if Alexa is here, hopefully she will be. Alexa, my mom, and my sister probably is who will be in the delivery room when Griffin's born. Cindy Dean said, do you prefer Mexican food or Italian food? Mexican, 100%. Jennifer Rose said, if you could live anywhere else in the world, where would you go? Dream vacation. Dream vacation? I don't know. Probably to like Bora Bora, like an island, and just have like a just relaxing weekend with like a massage right there by the ocean. That would be amazing with Andy there with me. And if I could live anywhere else in the world, I don't know where I'd want to live. I haven't really been anywhere. I've never really traveled. Andy's traveled and seen so much, and I just wish I could see as much of the world as he has, good or bad. Davey in the Sky said, what's your funniest memory from high school? Girl, I don't even know. That is too broad of a question. I don't know. I don't know. Depends on what year. I don't know. Monica said, what other states have you been to? I haven't been to a lot. I've been to Texas, Colorado, Florida, Georgia, Alabama, Louisiana, Tennessee, Missouri, Ohio, Connecticut. I think that's it. Mississippi. Mika 18 said, how do you deal with negativity and haters from others? I absolutely love you. Love you. How do I deal with negativity? I used to be real sensitive to like, negativity and making everybody happy and just like not dealing well with like bullying and stuff like that. But somewhere along the way between ages 13 and now, 13, 14 and now really, somewhere along the way I got a really tough backbone. And I guess I just, instead of letting it bother me, I would just kind of put up like shades to it. Like literally just shade out the haters. And just like, I didn't want them to know it bothered me or let them know it upset me, because then I felt like it would never end. Like I felt like if I pretended like it didn't bother me, they would leave me alone. So, because I had like bullying issues at some points in high school and from like older people, it kind of just made me like have a don't give a attitude. I'm really kind of like, now that I'm older and it's made me really, really tough and like real like strong backboned, I'm so glad that I had those bad moments. Sorry, Blue is like crawling under the coffee table. I don't know. Because it made me really strong. So I just basically ignore it so it goes away. And don't give up. Chelsea Marie 1016 said, how do you juggle and handle 2 jobs, taking care of Skyly, a dog, making sure you have a clean house, a new baby on the way, and having your husband so far away? By the way, I love you in all your videos. Oh, thank you. I love you too. I basically just tell myself the only way it's going to get done, the only way it's going to be handled is if I do it. I can't let it build up. I mean, yes, the kitchen table gets cluttered and, things like mail and things I need, clothes I need to have put away or things like that. But I just tell myself, you feel good when you have a clean house. I light a couple candles and I'll light a couple candles and either it'll knock me out and I'll fall asleep like I did earlier today, or it'll put me in like a comfortable mood and I'll just start picking stuff up. But basically that's what I tell myself. The only way it's going to get done is if I do it, so I have to do it. And one day you'll get a vacation. Dang Gina said, what is your favorite restaurant for a date? Well, Andy and I usually just go eat Mexican food. If we were going to do like a fancy, I don't know. I'm really laid back. I mean, we've gone on dates to like Olive Garden. I mean, nowhere even really fancy. I'd rather just go somewhere we can like listen to music, like kind of like a bar sort of in a way. Maybe like a nicer bar, like a BJ's Brew House, which isn't too nice, or like a steakhouse, like a nicer steakhouse. Gina Nicole said, what are some of your favorite YouTubers? I love Kathleen Lights. I like her because she has dry skin like me and she uses a lot of drugstore products. So I love watching her. I watch Casey Holmes, obviously. I watch a lot of different YouTubers. And sometimes I'll go on like binge watches where like I'm constantly checking their channel, see if they put new videos up. And then I'll watch other YouTubers, or I'll go a while without watching them. I love Jaclyn Hill, but I watch Jaclyn Hill and Nicole Guerrero and stuff like that more for learning technique instead of actual products they're using, because they're almost always like stuff I don't have or I can't go easily grab or something. I love SMLXO stuff. I've watched her forever. She was one of the people that inspired me to start YouTube. She uses a lot of drugstore as well. Desi Perkins, she's awesome at makeup. She's hilarious. I love her Snapchat. I watch her Snapchat all the time. Kate War22 said, what are you most nervous about with becoming a mama? You're such a beautiful person inside and out. Thank you. I'm nervous about being a good mom. Like, making him a good person, you know? Like, I think that's just a natural concern. Like, I just hope that I make him to be the best person he can be a loving person, be an understanding person, being a great man like his daddy, but being, you know, soft-hearted like his mommy. Kay Quinn Sharon said, what's Griffin's middle name? Griffin's name is Griffin Andrew Benet. Andrew after his daddy. Caitlin said, favorite state you've been to? What state do you want to go to that you haven't gone before? Love you. I really want to go. I want to go all over the place. I really want to go to California, and I really want to go to New York and do like the touristy stuff. My favorite state that I've been to, I really loved Connecticut. It reminded me a lot of here, but it was really pretty. I love Florida. I love the beach. I love Texas. I love the city. I don't know. I can't say. I've loved a lot of places I've been to. X0 Meg Elizabeth said, if you could have any car in the world, what would you choose? I don't know. I really love my Tahoe. Maybe like a new Tahoe. No, I love my Tahoe. And maybe like a GMC Denali. I love this big SUVs. Taylor Funk, before you were pregnant, did you have a workout plan? If so, what was it? I didn't have like a strict plan, but I had stuff that I loved to go in there and do. I loved working out my arms. I loved squats. Cardio. I loved cardio. It just felt good just to kind of like binge run on an elliptical, but I loved doing arm workouts and squats. I loved me and Andy used to work out together all the time, and me and him talk about it all the time. I'm like, I really miss going to the gym with you, and I don't know when we're ever going to get to go to the gym together again with Griffin, unless my mom comes and keeps him while we go to the gym, but I cannot wait to work out. Andy and we used to like, that was like date nights. We would go in the middle of the night, or we would go really early in the morning, or we just would go work out, and I loved it. Michelle when are you coming to visit? I wish I was coming soon. I went to Connecticut to look at a college back in my senior year, and I fell in love with Western Connecticut University. I was going to go to school there. Unfortunately, it didn't work out because I didn't get approved for enough like money, like financial aid wise, and I just wasn't going to be able to like pay for it. So I had to stay here, which, you know, obviously worked out the way it was supposed to, but I even had a roommate, and I went up there and I stayed with her, and we went to the school and did the tour thing and hung out, and it was so much fun, and that's who was asking when I was coming to visit, and I wish I was coming soon because I miss you guys. Lenora 1127 said, I know you said you and Andy talked for a long time before actually meeting in person, so how did you guys start talking in the first place and know each other? The internet. We had mutual friends, and I mean, I feel like that's how anybody gets to know each other nowadays, is like, oh, they added me on Facebook, and there's this thing, and it's so funny. It was a picture I found on the internet. It said like, Mom, how did you and Dad meet? And it was like, well, son, or well, honey, it started when your dad liked my selfies or something. And that's just our like big joke. And I said that to him, and he was like, I liked all them selfies or something. We were friends on social media for a while, and probably like almost 2 years before, or maybe a year before, he like started messaging me, and then I was like, hey, yeah, I'm talking about your daddy. He was flirting with me through Facebook and Instagram and all those social media sites. That's really kind of how we met, though, was through the internet. Gosh Dolly said, do you plan to get a house once Andy comes home? What's your favorite type of music? Where do you shop for your maternity clothes? It's really hard to find a cute maternity clothes where I live without spending a fortune. We do want to buy a house when he gets back at some point. My favorite type of music, I love a lot of music. I listen to everything, really. But basically, I flip between country and R&B. My favorite place to shop for maternity clothes. I got a lot of pants at Ross, like jeans and stuff. I've just worn a lot of longer shirts in normal styles, like, because I never really had a big belly till now. But if I did get maternity stuff, I got it at Destination Maternity. I'm so sorry if I'm not answering y'all's questions. There's so many, and I know this video is going to be so long. Mel T90, how's your life changed since you become a military wife? Love your vlogs, girl. My life changed because basically I have someone that's telling my husband when he can spend time with me and when he can't. But being a military wife is really hard, but it's a real big blessing at the same time. You become part of a community. I feel really close to the other girls that have husbands and boyfriends that are deployed with Andy right now. You just have a bond. You feel like you're in the ride together. Kendra 3P said, what is your favorite thing about being a YouTuber and blogger? I love connecting with people all over the world. I think it's the coolest thing ever, and like just making friends that way. It's a really cool thing. Holly MGA 81 said, would you consider doing a meetup in the future? I'd love to meet you. I would love to do a meetup. I don't know where I would do one or how, but if y'all ever see me out anywhere or whatever, come up to me and say hi to me because I love meeting you guys and I'm not shy or anything. Lynn's Bug 899 said, when you have the baby, are you still going to vlog? I love you. I love you too. I definitely plan on still doing my weekly vlogs. When the baby's born, they might be shorter, but they will be there. Taylor Nutgrass said, who is your favorite character on One Tree Hill? I love your videos. Thank you. My favorite character on One Tree Hill, probably Haley. I loved Haley and Nathan's relationship. I just always loved it. Julia Ridgway said, what exactly do you do at the hair salon? Do you cut hair? I don't cut hair. I'm a salon coordinator and I work with so I make appointments. I do social media marketing. I do all that stuff. Maddie Woodhall said, what motivates you? You do so much, and went on to say everything I do. You seem to always have motivation, such good work ethic. How do you manage it all? My mom always had good work ethic, and I say I got my work ethic from her. But what motivates me is Andy, really. I mean, I motivate myself. I want to be the best wife and mother I can be. But Andy motivates me, like I want to make him proud. Mary Vange said, was Griffin planned or a surprise? He was a blessing. He was obviously a surprise, but it wasn't like, there was never a moment where we were like, OMG, what? How tall are you? I'm 5'2". Are you ever afraid of being alone at home all the time? I used to be, but I'm not anymore. I used to be kind of like, oh my gosh, it's just me. I'd leave like every light in the house on, but now I'm totally comfortable. EXO AWN said, were you born and raised in Arkansas? Love your southern accent. Thank you. And yes, I was born and raised right here in Arkansas. Madison Nicole 9514 said, where do you post your blanket pics at? I'd love to order one from you. I do all of that on my Facebook fan page, which is X0X0LC. HLJ Gator 88 said, will Andy be able to Skype in when Griffin's born? Hopefully, fingers crossed, that will all work out. The vegan chickpea, she said, how did Skylie calling your mom Nani come out about? Will Griffin call her Nani too? We did decide that. We just asked my mom when me and Andy started dating and became more serious. We talked with my mom. What do you want to be called? Because Skylie needs to call you something. And I was like, and remember that this is gonna. We talked with my sister about it. We said, remember this is gonna be what the rest of the grandkids call you. So. Make sure it's something you like, and so she loves Nani, and that's what we did. X Fluffy Frog X, what type of hair do you have? Thin, coarse, wavy. What would you ever do videos on hair products for different hair types? I don't know if I would ever do a video on different hair types because I don't know what would be best for other hair types, but I have curly, thick hair. I hope I answered a lot of y'all's questions. See, the last one. Helia 8988 said, I've heard you say I put this in the shop or I'm cleaning the shop. It's silly of me, but what exactly is the shop you reference here? Always meant to ask you. The shop it's like a garage that's disconnected from the house. So I have to go outside of the house to get to the shop. It's where my washer and dryer is. It's where Andy keeps, a lot of his tools, and we keep there's a poker table out there. We got a lot of stuff out there. It's huge. Andy just texted me and he woke up and it's his birthday. It's Daddy's birthday. I know. I gotta tell him happy birthday. So, anyways, it's just it's Andy calls it the shop because it's like a place where he can do like working stuff, but it's where the laundry room is. It's all that stuff. I hope I answered all y'all's questions. I just didn't want this video to be 1,000 years long. I'm gonna do more Q&As more often. I'll probably do another one before the baby's born, but I hadn't done a personal Q&A yet, so I wanted to do that for you guys. But I hope you loved this video. Sorry for Blue and his distraction. I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you felt like you came to my house and we hung out on the couch and just chit-chatted about life. But don't forget to like this video if you loved doing personal Q&As. And I will see y'all in my next video. Bye, guys.